Have you ever wondered who decides what your time, your labor, even your life is worth? You might think it's the free market, or maybe your employer, or perhaps you through your choices. But what if I told you a small group of unelected individuals, meeting behind closed doors, has more control over your value than you ever will? A secret council that can raise or crush economies, inflate or erase your savings, and silently determine how much your existence is worth in numbers on a screen. And the most disturbing part? You probably know their name. You just don't know what they really do. Let's step back. Every modern nation measures its people through numbers: productivity, GDP, inflation, unemployment, debt. But behind these numbers lies a hidden system, a network of central banks, policy councils, and financial institutions that decide the value of everything, including you. At the heart of it all is something called monetary policy, the mechanism that determines how much money flows through society. It's led not by presidents or parliaments, but by central bankers, economists, and global councils like the BIS Bank for International Settlements, often called the central bank of central banks. These people are not villains in the classic sense. They wear suits, speak politely at conferences, and claim to act in your best interest. But their decisions ripple across every paycheck, every price tag, and every savings account in the world. And this story of how they gained that power begins over a century ago. It started in 1913, when the Federal Reserve was created in the United States, the first major central bank designed to stabilize the economy. On paper, it was meant to protect citizens from financial chaos. In reality, it centralized the control of money in the hands of a few. Over the next decades, similar systems spread across the world. Governments realized that whoever controlled interest rates, the cost of borrowing money, effectively controlled everything else. Wars were financed, empires were rebuilt. And through it all, a quiet consensus formed among elite bankers and economists that stability was more important than freedom. By the mid-20th century, a new kind of world order emerged, not ruled by kings or armies, but by debt, interest, and monetary policy. The Bretton Woods Conference of 1944 sealed the deal, giving birth to the IMF, the World Bank, and eventually the Bank for International Settlements as the silent overseer. A new kind of council, invisible yet powerful, began to rule. Throughout the late 20th century, this council evolved. Its members, heads of central banks like the Federal Reserve, the European Central Bank, and the Bank of England, started meeting regularly under the umbrella of the BIS in Basel, Switzerland. No cameras, no public records, no transcripts. They discussed the cost of credit, money supply, and economic stability. But what they were really deciding was how valuable your time and effort would be tomorrow. When they lower interest rates suddenly, borrowing becomes cheap, money floods the economy, and prices rise. When they raise them, businesses close, jobs vanish, and wealth contracts. While the average citizen believes in market forces, the reality is, these decisions are engineered long before you ever feel them. This was no conspiracy, it was policy by design. Yet over time, it turned into something darker, a system that thrives on imbalance. Then came 2008. The financial system collapsed under its own weight: reckless lending, cheap credit, and layers of invisible debt. Millions lost their homes, jobs, and savings. But the secret council, they met, they printed trillions, and they rescued the same institutions that caused the collapse. Ordinary citizens got austerity, banks got bailouts, and the cycle of dependency deepened. Instead of reforming the system, central banks doubled down, slashing interest rates to zero, flooding economies with quantitative easing, and creating the illusion of recovery. But here's the truth. Every dollar printed devalues your labor. Every rescue of a failing corporation steals from the future to fund the past. Over time, the consequences became unavoidable. Global debt exploded over $300 trillion worldwide. Inflation surged. The wealth gap reached historic levels. The system that was meant to protect stability had become addicted to crisis because every downturn justified more intervention. Every solution required more control. And so, the secret council's power only grew stronger. Their language, monetary tightening, asset purchases, fiscal stimulus, But behind those words lies a simple truth. You are being measured not as a person, but as a financial variable. Your worth is calculated in productivity per hour, spending per month, and debt per lifetime. Today, in 2025, the pattern repeats itself, only more advanced, more digital, more silent. The rise of digital currencies and AI-driven economics means the next phase of control is no longer about cash or credit. It's about data. Your spending habits, location, and even social behavior can now feed into systems that decide how much access you get to the economy itself. The council isn't hiding anymore. They publish white papers, attend Davos, and speak of a new monetary era. But what they really building is a programmable economy, one that could eventually determine not just your financial value, but your existence within the system. So what can we learn from all this? Here are 3 truths. Value is never objective, decided by systems designed to serve those who built them. Control always hides behind complexity. The more technical the language, the more power it conceals. Debt equals dependency. The moment you owe the system owns you. The warning? A world where your worth is determined by a council of economists, not your humanity, is already here. And if history teaches us anything, what begins as control in the name of stability always ends as control in the name of power. So before you swipe your next digital payment or celebrate another stimulus, ask yourself, who's really deciding what your existence is worth? If this video made you question what's really happening behind the curtain of the global economy, don't let it stop here. Hit subscribe, turn on the bell icon, and join the community uncovering the truths that shape your world. Because awareness is the first step toward freedom, and understanding how value is created. It's how you reclaim your own.